Chris, thanks very much for joining us ahead of the Rotherham game. Back at home after a couple of tough games away from home. Is everyone looking forward to it?
Yeah, everyone's ready. I mean, we had a day off after the game against Huddersfield. Back in today, everyone seems ready and fresh and excited for the week ahead. The next game, obviously against Rotherham at home. Good to be back at home again. Feels like we've been on the road a lot in recent weeks. So back at home, another team that's come down from the Championship. Some good quality players. Another test for us. Different type of team, a little bit different to Huddersfield. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
I think the question on most fans' minds will be the condition of Tomoki Iwata after that nasty challenge on Tuesday. What's the assessment on him?
Yeah, so it's not as bad as we first feared, judging by the results of all the tests. But it's still, a knock. So we'll have to see how he goes in the next day or so.
To come out of those last two away days with 4 points feels really positive. How do you reflect on the performances we've seen there?
Yeah, good. I think, I thought over the two games we were the better team in both games. If Wrexham pushed at the end a little bit, and so did Huddersfield, to be fair, but I still think we were the better team over the games. We got better in the Huddersfield game than we were in the Wrexham game. That first 60, 70 minutes, we were strong. I really liked our first half performance at Huddersfield, created some big situations and handled the game well. So, I suppose we grew over the week, if you like, and against, on paper anyway, two of the hardest games you're going to have. But it doesn't mean a lot because we've had some really tricky games against sort of the smaller teams in the league. So, but a really positive week for us all.
We saw debuts for both Grant Hanley and Kieran Dowell as well. Not an easy time to come onto the pitch when you're protecting that 1-goal lead. What did you make of them?
Well, no, you're absolutely right. It's not, because the game's a little bit sort of frantic and they're not you're not settled into sort of controlling the game. So, for example, for an attacking player like Kieran, it's not like you're in position and you're dominating. You're having to sort of play counter-attacks, or it's a little bit scrappy, I would say. But he still showed glimpses of his quality. Took a nice shot of his left foot, and but straight into it and did his job for the team. And then Grant was, they were being very direct. Now it was long throws as well as corners and free kicks. So he came in that sense, and not only did he win a few of his headers and sort of marshal that back line in the last period, but he was communicating well and organising around. So I was pleased also for them to actually get on the pitch at a new club and contribute to a result. So all in all, that was positive.
Whilst you're still in all three competitions as well, and the games are still coming thick and fast, will they be in line for more opportunities, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I can safely say to all the players that they're going to play. So I think sometimes you look and you say, well, where's this player going to get a game? Where's this player going to get a game? You only have to look at our schedule in the next 3 months and they will all play. When exactly, you can never guarantee, but they're all going to have to play and contribute, start games and come on in games. And so there's no doubt about that.
Christian Bielik got a few more minutes again on Tuesday. Is it important for you to ease players back in his kind of situation to guard against that re-injury?
Well, it is, yeah. They're all a little bit different. Some have done more rehab and can sort of, like Keshi had more rehab time, relatively speaking. Chris got thrown onto the bench against Exeter a bit earlier, so everyone's on their own sort of pathway back into the team, but Chris has almost been having to build up through the games his fitness, so good to have him again, came on, good presence in the games, captain, key player, so it was really good to have him back, and he's been better for a few good training sessions, a few games now, so it's good to have him back.
The injury list seems to be getting a little bit smaller as well. Would you say Willem Willemsen is perhaps the closest to a return out of them?
Yeah, Willem, well, you've got Tomoki, obviously we'll have to see how he goes. Then you've got Willem, who's back in sort of modified training, which is joining a little bit in with the team, but nothing too extensive. So hopefully within the next week to 10 days he's available for games. And then you've got Paik and Emil, who, again, a little bit behind Willemsen, but are progressing well. And then Lee Buchanan has a long-term injury. So the list is shortening, which is really positive, and hopefully it stays that way.
Looking at Rotherham, they've had a little bit of a tough start to League One, but they've been in decent form recently. What do you make of them?
Well, yeah, a little bit like Huddersfield in the sense that they had a slow start to the season, come down from the Championship, slow start, but they've picked up again. They've picked up now, and I mean, I was wary of them the first time we played because of the quality that they had in certain positions, but we played really well in the first game, first half in particular. But I see a good attacking threat. They're they get the ball forward and they normally play a diamond, or they can play a sort of a 3-5-2. But a lot of it is, playing with a good intensity and crosses in the box and set pieces, and they are a handful. And then they defensively, hard-working team. So for us, a test. Every team's got its unique sort of strengths and key players that you have to be ready for. But for us, it's about at home imposing the way that we play on the opposition, and trying to dominate the game. So, and that's what we try to do.
Steve Evans, of course, has huge experience at this level. You mentioned the game earlier in the season where you play really well and win. Do you expect him to change much up for Saturday?
Well, maybe. I mean, I don't see the style changing. Against us, they played one shape in the first half. They changed shape at half time. So I presume it'll be one of those two options. They have a couple of more options they can use as well. So I think system-wise, there's a few there, but style-wise, I think they'll have a similar approach, from everything that I've analysed with them. But as you say, they've got not only an experienced manager, but they've got some good players. So for us, we have to be ready for it.
With Wrexham's defeat in midweek, your side are now the only team in the league to be unbeaten at home as well. How big a part would you say the fans have played in that? Oh,
massive. Yeah, massive. I mean, not just at home, and our away record would probably be as good as anyone's, I'm guessing, as well. So they've been brilliant. Love seeing them on the road. They push the team, help the team so much. And then at home, as I've said all along, if once our stadium gets going, there's no place quite like it. It's intimidating for the opposition. It's loud. It gives our players a really big boost. So they're hugely important to us. And hopefully, it's always we can generate that with the way we play. You can get the fans going, and it's important we do that. And together, we can create a good atmosphere.
You preempted the final question a little bit there. You're exactly right in the fact that the away record is the same as the home record. You've got just as many points, again, the most in the league away from home. What do you put that kind of consistency down to?
Probably that word, consistent. I think home or away, we don't really change the way we play. So we're consistent with our approach to games, which helps, I think, the players. I think we have shown a good mentality away from home when we've been in the lead. We've had, because you can always anticipate the home crowd get up from they try and test you if you're 1-0 up or it's a draw or whatever. And I think we've handled that with real physicality, concentration, aggression, togetherness, and we've shown a good spirit in those periods away from home. You only get away from home if you've got a bit of spirit about you and a bit of substance to you as a team. So I think we've proven that on the road. In certain home games as well, but especially away from home, we've had to show the mentality that we've built.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.